Yar! Ito here and welcome back to another Kraken week of this Minecraft series. So yeah, this week we are going to be boarding the ship and we are going to be working on some stuff on the dock. But before that, I need to pretty much explain what's going to happen here. So hello. As you noticed, this week was, or the last week I should say, was in terms of role-playing games and fantasy and stuff, was the Kraken week. Because over the Discovery Channel there was the Shark week, so we made something like this. I got different plans. As you know, I tried to work there, but then I realized, okay, I want to board the ship of the Kraken week, so we went on something entirely different. We made a little bit of kind of a story here in the cave, and actually I talked a bit more about the naval progress of my own role-playing game. So let me show you that, and where we are going to talk about the little bit of extra progress that I did here on the base. So this week we spent the Monday working on some of the buildings here, like that one, it's on the back, but we are going to resume that later on. And also we did some stuff here, defining that this is going to be a travel chip with the goodies to the workshop, which is the one on that side on my back there. So we decided to tackle that building, and then we did some stuff, like for example, can you hear that? That triggers? Yeah, I added some of the triggers that we get from the goodies vault, I don't remember how it's called, and also I added the Timonel over here from the chip, so that's kind of a really cool addition. I didn't want it to go crazy with more like details or stuff, because you know, this is going to be related later on to the next part, which is going to be the workshop over there. But one of the things that I could do is actually taking this whole week as a challenge, because again, if you are out of the loop in terms of role-playing games, in Discovery Channel is the Shark Week, and for role-playing games, a lot of the D&D community, which if I'm not a big part of, but I love role-playing games, and I'm designing my own. So yeah, they decided to do Kraken Week, and I decided, why not? Because, you know, in my game, I got two clans that are big Baritim forces in that case, so this is going to be something that either later on we are going to need to be tackling, and I said, you know what, I could take this challenge. So I decided to work with these different things, which are my pretty much naval, I would say, kind of a staple points. So I decided that I was going to create a stat for the chip. So of course you need to measure out the crew, the speed, the endurance, which is the resistance of the chips, the cannon that is going to be firing, but pretty much every other weapon, altars, and cargo. And with that, you can see that also on the chip you are going to have different roles, like the captain, the mestre, the pilot, the gunner, and the medic. And I think overall this is going to be something really cool. I went in way more details into my own strengths, so I'm going to spare you with that. But one of the cool things that we worked on, and you can see we worked the maneuvers, the actions, and everything, is this push mechanic. So I tried to fit everything into these book pages, and trust me, we spent a lot of time tinkering with this, so hopefully you are going to see how cool it's going to be. So first of all, you need to picture that this is going to happen when you are trying to do the push or the boarding. So you are with your ship over here, you are landing or boarding the enemy ship, and now you are going to be playing with your own characters without doing anything fancy or different than that into this scheme. So first of all, we're going to play that in waves. So each wave is kind of a one part of the boarding, kind of a situation or conflict if you want. So on each wave you can get Muso, which is our way of how you are going to be unmatched into this type of conflict. So you are going to emerge like a victory one. On the first one, we are going to have the dueling, the boarding, challenging, reinforcing, tactical dominance, and the morale in the last one. So we are going to tackle each one by one, and hopefully you get a better idea on what I was going for. So the first one is dueling. It's when you are going to be fighting one-to-one against the other captain, and you are going to be playing while being the captain of the ship, or these are going to be pretty much two NPCs, and it's going to be in a circle made by Chimenawa, which is like a rope that's going to be in the center of the chip. That's going to prevent the effect of outsider forces like magical powers and stuff like this. And it's going to be like a sumo match 1-to-1 or pretty much like a fencing duel in between both captains of the chip. And if you are playing there, maybe you can be called a champion and replace your captain. Either way, when that is done, the loser captain is going to call for the attack, and then it's going to start like all of the attacker crew going to jumping over the chip. And that's actually the start of the second wave. You are going to have a boarding crew and then a defending one. The defender is going to have access to different chip upgrades, which is important when you manufacture your chip. For example, if you got a bigger size, you are going to have actually access to a bigger crew. Or if you get a better manufacturing, that means your crew is going to be hard, or maybe your chip is going to be harder to board because it's going to be either bigger, it's going to have like better side reinforcements and stuff like that. And then you're just trying to damage the other side crew. And the side that deals the most damage is going to be the winner. And of course, on ties, always you reward the attacker because we want you to feel like it's always better to attack than defend. That's going to be way more enticing. So while you are in that type of conflict where both sides are going to be collapsing against each other into the defender chip, which is going to be like the terrain in this case, we're going to also have the third wave, which is the wave for the challenges. It's going to be pretty much the conflict between the gunners, or could be the leaders of the party, which are going to be pretty much your characters for this case. And the gunners are the guys that are fighting the cannons, fighting the arbalists, are going to be your characters. So pretty much everyone that's going to be relevant there, and then they are going to be into kind of a conflict on the deck of the chip here, or maybe on another strategic location. And whenever you win, you are going to claim a muso for your side, which is pretty much your way of claiming victory. And then, of course, we are going to enter from the last part, just kind of from the whole conflict, which is the reinforcing. And this is a little bit complex to explain because I couldn't manage to pull everything here on the page. But essentially, you need to now decide, and this is always going to be made by the captain and the master, if you want to reinforce like the attacker side. So you are going to have more people kind of boarding here from the attacker side, and they are going to be like, let's say, a reinforcement second wave, like, whoa! And also maybe you are going to call for more reinforcement from inside your chip, from the people that are doing different type of jobs that pretty much you want to allocate every resource that you have on the defending chip pretty much on the defense of your boarding part. So yeah, you are going to call for the reinforcements. Always is going to be the defender first. And if you do, you are going to increase your crew, of course, in the amount of the reinforcements. But you can also fold, and you just kind of pretty much concede, or you just can stand your ground. And if you do that, you don't lose crew members. But if you call for the reinforcements, everyone else, and I mean everyone, single person that is fighting here, including the characters, are kind of going to be overwhelmed by the new wave. So if you got an attacking crew, and maybe there is someone over here, then you are going to just kind of smash over them, and you are going to go over and keep fighting. And if you are coming from inside of the bottom part of the chip, then you are going to come over and still going to put your way forward. So this meaning that whenever you want to call for the reinforcements, yet you are going to have kind of a fresh new members, but also you are going to sacrifice on your old ones. So here you need to be a little bit more strategic, and this is going to enhance way more what the characters can do actually in this type of conflict. So this could always be either you concede and save your members, or you risk more, try to gain everything but sustain more casualties. So finally, you go for the last action that the players can take, which are going to be the tactical dominance. And over here you got the idea of controlling key points inside the chip. We have not come with a cool name yet, but that's going to be something like that. And these points are going to be three. The point, which is going to be the quartermaster, defender by the master, the pilot, which is going to defend the timonel, and also the medic. And I want these three kind of sides to be connected over there. The quartermasters are going to be pretty much like the central branch point for every single chip, that you can kind of have 3 layers of them or something around that. Of course, it's going to vary with the chips, but the idea is you are going to fight these 3 persons and you are going to try to take control of that. So if you defeat the pilot, you are going to take control of the movement of the chip. If you defeat the master, you are going to pretty much put off the chain of command for the chip. And if you take the medic, of course, the enemy is not going to be able to rescue and treat their kind of injures crew members. So that way you can secure the victory, and these are going to be special tactical points, because for this case, the idea is that each of these points are going to reward more of these, so which is what we want. And the last wave is the last one, which is pretty much just like the resolution. You're going to roll as many dice as surviving crew members, and remember that on each wave you are damaging crew members on the opposing side, so that's kind of the whole goal. Everything is veering here toward the last wave, and eventually you're going to discard each value that is lower than the crew on the defender side in this case. Because you are always trying to resolve as the border. If you try to resolve as the defender, you just kind of win by default, because essentially you always measure if the win or if the attacker side is able to take control of the ship, or they are going to be repelled off. And the reason why you don't kind of just assign everything here is because this is just one part of the whole naval conflict. So this is probably the most compelling and engaging situation, but actually this is not solving everything else. So if you allocate all of your members and you can't control the enemy ship here, and then you are getting repelled and pushed over, no, the enemy is going to be able to try to board you. And if you run out of crew members, well, now your whole attack renders you a vessel of the enemy ship, and that's going to suck. So that's a little brief summary of my whole thing, but now let's go into the build. We decided that here we are going to have the workshop. So as you can have here, you got an hexagon with a cool kind of a cog in the center there, and this is going to be the place where we are going to actually be crafting our weapons. So here we're going to have a lake that's going to kind of go all the way here into the building. Probably we're going to have a glass roof. No, the other thing, the floor. Yeah, floor. I always confuse floors and roof. I don't know why. It's just weird. My guess is because I'm actually on the other side of the world, so I'm going to blame that, okay? Here, the roof are the floors are the roof, because we live upside down, so you get the drill. But yeah, here we are going to be cooling the weapons that we are going to make in here on the fort, and of course, from this side, you are going to see that that's going to be open toward the goodies from the ship. So here, I'm expecting to have for the next week create engine, and hopefully that's going to be good. But with that, we are just going to be starting working here, and as you can see, I just pretty much laid out everything. We laid out this on the screen. I just winded the whole thing, so this is kind of my design with deep slate, bricks and tiles, and then a little bit of decoration with the anvils, and also some of the nether on the back, which I think it makes a cool opening. But this is just a rough template. I'm trying to construct everything that I'm going to work over these boundaries, and it's going to have a second story there that, to be honest, I got no clue what I'm going to be doing there. I just wanting this, but I think it looks nice. So yeah, this is what I'm doing, and also this is kind of the fires on the forge, and this is the cooling side. But I went a little bit crazy because, you know, I got a little bit more of time. I was kind of just trying to work on this part, and then the Kraken week hit me, and then I decided to came up, since the streams were pretty much me talking about role-playing game stuff, which is really cool for me. I decided to do something extra. And, well, as the title of this week says, I did a little bit of building. So I went a little bit ahead, and yeah, a little bit of building. Did you see that in the background? That is my background for this whole building, and well, let me show you what I did, because the idea for that, which is not entirely done because we still need to do a bridge over here, is going to be a village that is going to be connected to this whole side of the temple. And if I show you with the camera, we are going to lay out a roadmap that is going to be on this side of the fort, because eventually we're going to have a lake that's going to flow all the way up to here and then all the way connecting on this side. So probably the road is going to be somewhere like this, and then going to be another road connecting the forge to the temple building and everything on this other side. But then I decided to went ahead a little bit of myself and did this little building. So I retaped this whole village. I tried to keep as vanilla as possible, changed the yellow beds with the blue ones, everything is pretty much in blossom, good calcite and blackstone, which I believe it works really well together. And as you can see, we did the same on every single one of these. And then I went to changing pretty much everything, including the cartographer tables. So these are the new flowers. And yeah, I changed every single one of these, even the market stalls. So now they are with the colors of this village, which is pretty much on the blues. The forgery room also changed it with the blackstone. I guess the only thing that it didn't do is adding more of the replanting, because to be honest, this is not my village and I wanted to keep it as vanilla as possible. But with my own design for the lamps here, more stalls, and then I decided to come here. Here, this was an old church, or I don't know how they're called in Minecraft, but it was one of that. It didn't came up with the style for everything, so I messed up with this a lot in their streams, and eventually I came out with this design. So now it's open on all of the corner sides, and you can go up the ladder into this second story tall building where you can just rest up, and going still up, and actually you ended up here in this cool watchtower where you can see every single corner. This is that one because it's blocked by the tree of the village. And over there, I moved the other side of the building pretty much into this well. So, well, do we have here a pond that actually is feeding the water for the village. So, what do you think about this? I really love how everything came together. I just keep pretty much every single size and the materials. I just changed everything, but for example, I never moved the glass thingies. Besides this one, of course, is wearing yellow, I just changed it to blue. But I don't know what happened here. I think someone else... Ooh, hello there. Well, I need to do some change. Fix. So, yeah. With that done... Oh, wrong button. Oh, there. Yeah, I just even changed the forgery here to make it more looking like this one. I think this is coming together really, really nice. I'm just kind of assuming through the buildings because actually there's not much to say about them than just this. And we ended up with remaking the church in itself. So this is only right because we only need one, you know, not like we need so many gods to pray for them or something. And yeah, so this is like the new design with the high tall ceilings and everything, and then you can even use it like a second watchtower here if you want. So that's another cool thing. And we just laid out some of the trees here. And actually for them, I think I need to use the camera here because if you look at them, these trees are planted by myself here, trying to hide pretty much whatever is behind that whole template. Because we didn't want it to go into that village. I think someone was playing over there and we didn't want it to change everything. And besides, this is intended to something to be looked at from my own base. So I just pretty much kept everything as how it was. For example, here you got this weird original pose in the middle of the road. Because, you know, that's Minecraft for you. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to change the style, but I'm going to be original to what actually was happening there. So that's what I did. And my central point for viewing that is from here. So let me show you. Because when you teleport here, you are going to see that, you are always going to see that on the back. And it's kind of a perfect. So if you look at that, you see that the full village, you can see there, that one. That is that one is the temple. So that is one corner of the village. The other one is going to be surrounded entirely by the trees. And over there, there is just a big of a gap where the village is going to end, where we need to add one more nether portal that is going to eventually be connected to our own, probably city over here. But that's going to be for way later on because I still got no idea where I'm going to have my nether portal and also why I'm going to have my nether portal there. So that's going to be for later on. But as you can see, little progress here. I went a little bit crazy. And don't worry, for the next ones, I need to take it more slowly. So I'm going to try to focus more into more technical details like what's going to be inside here. and that's going to allow me to focus more on my own game. So if you're interested, feel free to drop by on my Twitch, and we'll see you there with Noah Pirate also. It's YAR! I mean, goodbye!